Welcome to your February 2022 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering the major transits for the month ahead using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. I strongly recommend that you watch your horoscope for your ascendant sign first and foremost, and that is because the ascendant sign will be the most accurate for you overall, generally speaking. Having said that, the sun sign horoscope will tell you more about your life goals and your career, whereas the moon sign horoscope will pertain more to your family and your living circumstances. So if you've got time to watch all three, go for it. Now, lastly, before I get into your horoscope, I just wanted to let you know that I still have my 2022 yearly horoscopes available for purchase, so I will leave a link in the description box below. And now let's get into your horoscope. Hi Sagittarius Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your February 2022 horoscope. Before I get into your reading today, I just wanted to pull an animal spirit totem card just to see what energies will be with you for the month ahead. That didn't take long. We have the swan. So this tells me that you're going to encounter a situation where you need to be very, very graceful and very, very smooth in your movements. So there may be some sort of situation which crops up unexpectedly where you may have the impulse to have a knee-jerk reaction or basically just, up and leave, but the swan is asking you to be a little bit more fluid in your movements. So now let's get into your reading hang on a second, perfectionist. On the 1st of February, we are going to see a new moon in Aquarius take place at 12 degrees in your 3rd house, and it's going to be in a close conjunction with Saturn at 15 degrees, and it will be making a square to Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house at almost 11 degrees. Both Saturn and Uranus rule over the sign of Aquarius. So that means that this new moon is answering to these two planets, which are really not in harmony with one another. So with this new moon taking place in your 3rd house, a new chapter or a new beginning is going to take place with regard to one or more of the following. There may be a new project that you're working on, or you may be working in a group. You may be committing to learning a new skill or getting some sort of diploma or qualification or certification. Now, you could be working on your own business, or you could be taking an important test or exam. But let's unpack this a little bit. With this conjunction to Saturn, if you are starting to work on a new project or in some kind of group format, you will likely have to do a lot of work. Saturn will be asking you to commit very, very seriously to the group or to the project at hand. So this could involve your colleagues, your clients, or even working with schoolmates, teammates, or friends, or even siblings. Perhaps this is a project that you're working on with your relatives. So you may be seriously committed to the task at hand, but this square to Uranus in your 6th house, and with Uranus ruling over your 3rd house, what this tells me is that the other individuals are not really committed, or maybe they're sort of like throwing you off course, or perhaps the scheduling surrounding getting you guys in a room together or in the same Zoom meeting is just a mess. So with committing to learning a new skill or perhaps getting a qualification or a diploma in something, this could be a very, very heavy schedule and workload that you are committing to. So you may need to muck around people in your workplace, as represented by Uranus being in your 6th house and the 6th house representing work. So even if you are not currently working though, this could just mean that your usual routine and your daily habits are pretty much thrown into complete disarray. Now, you may be having a new manager or supervisor coming on board at your workplace, and this person could be a real hard ass, or they could be someone who is a real stickler for abiding by rules and regulations. Now, their energy could be very disruptive to your existing working environment, and this is indicated by this square to Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house. Now, you may be committing to learning about marketing, developing a sales pitch, starting a new website, or you may be putting together a manual or filming a tutorial of some sort. So perhaps you need to learn a lot in a very short period of time. And another way that this can play out is that if you have an important test or exam to sit, such as maybe for the bar, or maybe you're getting a license for something, the schedule or the time frame or the date could be subject to change, or even the location could change very abruptly for you. Lastly, you may just need to commit a lot of time to learning some sort of new technology which you feel is a little bit beyond you, or this could basically just be new technology or new systems which are being implemented within your workplace, and this could be a very big disruption to your work environment. Now on the 9th of February, Mars in Capricorn in your 2nd house is going to make a trine to Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house. Trines are very, very beneficial and harmonious aspects in astrology. So this indicates that some sort of action that you take with regard to your diet and the food that you eat every day can have a very, very beneficial impact on your physical health. And I'm saying this because the 2nd house represents our food and our diet, and the 6th house represents our health. So essentially, you cutting something out of your diet can improve your health. And if I make that more specific, with Uranus ruling over your 3rd house, this can improve your ability to concentrate and focus. And that is because the 3rd house is connected to our mentality. Now, the 2nd house is connected to our valuables and our possessions. And with Mars ruling over your 12th house, which represents donating things, and with the 6th house representing acts of service, actually donating valuables, possessions, or even parts of your wardrobe can have a very, very positive impact on your health. And the 6th house in astrology is not just connected to health, it also represents any part of our life which is out of balance, and the 6th house also represents conflictual situations. So if you find that you just feel like there is some sort of conflict going on with you and another person, or an inner state of conflict or dis-ease, actually culling your wardrobe and donating possessions and valuables can have a very positive impact on not just your mental health, but also your physical health and well-being. Now, with Mars ruling over your 5th house, this can have an unexpected impact where perhaps you're going to have more energy and more confidence. And that is because Mars is connected to energy and the 5th house is connected to our confidence. Now, spending money or using your resources to help another person, or perhaps even physically helping another person by way of manual labor, can lead to you having new business ideas and new creative ideas. And this is indicated by the fact that the 6th house represents acts of service. So with Uranus ruling over your 3rd house, this can see you having these new business ideas or these new opportunities to make new contacts and collaborate and network. Also, an act of service that you do can lead to you receiving some sort of positive feedback, and this could really come through as someone posting something online, such as via social media, or perhaps it's like a word of mouth situation where your good intentions and you helping someone else can have a positive impact on you. Now, because Mars rules over the 12th house, which is a very spiritual house, it's very important that if you are helping another person, that this is really rooted in altruistic intentions. So this is not about you helping someone else just so that you can get ahead. You really have to want to help someone else. Lastly, another way that this can play out is that you may receive money that is paid to you unexpectedly. And I'm saying that because the 6th house represents debts and Uranus represents something unexpected happening. With Uranus ruling over your 3rd house, which is connected to sales transactions and contracts, perhaps there's an undoing or a reversal which takes place here. So just as an example, perhaps you were issued a fine which you have paid, and now you're receiving that money back because the person who issued the fine realizes that they made some sort of mistake. So you could see money coming into your account or resources coming back around to you that you were not actually expecting. Now, on the 11th/12th of February, depending where you live in the world, Mercury and Pluto will form a conjunction at 27 degrees in Capricorn in your second house. This will actually be the third time since the end of December in 2021 that Mercury and Pluto will make this conjunction. It's also worth noting that from the 3rd or 4th of February, Mercury will actually be direct. So we will still be in the post-shadow retrograde period, but nonetheless, this means that you can actually integrate some sort of knowledge or epiphany or realization that you've been starting to have since around the end of December in 2021. Given that this is occurring in your second house, this could be you understanding your self-sabotaging behavior when it comes to your budgeting and your spending habits. So I'm saying this because Pluto rules over your 12th house, and the 12th house is connected to self-sabotaging behavior. And essentially, Pluto represents addictions and things that are going on beneath the surface and things that we're quite ashamed of. Mercury represents your mentality and your conscious understanding and awareness of these issues. I'm not saying that all of you Sagittarians have addictions, but essentially this conjunction with Pluto is making you confront something that has been very disturbing to you at a deep and psychological level, and probably at a very subconscious level that you haven't really been wanting to address. Now, with this epiphany or with this realization, this could be to do with not only your money habits, but your food habits. And I'm saying this because the second house is connected to food. Now, the second house also represents self-love, self-care, and how much you value yourself. So perhaps you're having some pretty confronting realizations when it comes to how you've been treating yourself. And on one hand, this could be your relationship to money, or you overeating or undereating, or basically just having a very warped perception when it comes to deservingness. Now, with Mercury ruling over your 7th house of one-on-one relationships and your 10th house, which represents your career, perhaps you're having a realization surrounding what kind of career you deserve or what kind of a relationship you deserve to be in. Now, lastly, you may have a huge money-making idea, and this could be linked to your career or your mission in life. And I'm saying that because the second house represents finances and resources, and with Mercury ruling over your 10th house and once again representing your career, this could see you having a big idea which you can make a lot of money off of. And not only does the second house represent finances and resources, Pluto is connected to obscene amounts of wealth. But this particular money-making idea must be rooted in something that is in alignment with your spiritual values and with your mission in life. And I'm saying that because Pluto rules over the 12th house, which represents spirituality, and with Mercury ruling over the 10th house, which represents your life goals and your mission in life, the only way that you can uncover or unlock the secrets of Pluto is to do something which is going to benefit people on a grand scale. Now, on the 16th of February, we are going to see a full moon in Leo take place in your 9th house at 27 degrees. And it's going to be making an in conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn in your 12th house at 27 degrees. Full moons indicate the ending of a chapter taking place or the end of a cycle or something reaching its peak. Given that this is occurring in your 9th house, this could see you graduating or completing a level of study with regard to your higher education, or you could be finishing off some sort of coaching lessons that you've been receiving, or maybe you're having a big moment when it comes to your career as a teacher. You may be in the spotlight for something to do with your spiritual or your religious beliefs, or perhaps you are a spiritual or religious figure yourself, or you could be in the spotlight for your philosophical teachings. Now, I just want to pause here to say that this in conjunction to Pluto represents that there's some sort of disconnect between an achievement or the ending of a chapter that you should be pleased about and how you're feeling on an emotional level. Maybe you feel like you should be happy and yet you're feeling a little bit depressed or a little bit melancholy. Perhaps you don't really have the energy to take the next step in your life or perhaps in your career. Now, with this full moon occurring in your 9th house, perhaps a travel trip has come to a close, or perhaps you've had some kind of vision for your future and what it could look like. And maybe there's something really positive here, and yet you don't really know how to take the next step or really bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. In any case, this doesn't need to be anything seriously dramatic because we have full moons and new moons every single month. Now, on the 16th/17th of February, depending where you live in the world, Venus and Mars will form a conjunction in Capricorn in your 2nd house, and this will be at 16 degrees, almost 17 degrees. So conjunctions carry new moon energy, and that is because they represent something new starting in your life. And so does Capricorn energy, and that is because Capricorn is one of the cardinal signs. Because this is occurring in your 2nd house, this could lead to you making some kind of big investment into something, or perhaps you're spending a lot of money around this time to get something off the ground. Mars carries the energy of innovation and engineering, so perhaps you are innovating something new. This is also highlighted by the fact that Venus rules over your 11th house, which is also connected to innovation. Now, this could be to do with technology, as represented by the 11th house itself, or something to do with community living and the sharing of resources, food, and perhaps even finances. And I'm saying that because the 2nd house, as well as Venus, is connected to finances and resources and food. Now, with this conjunction to Mars, you could actually be innovating something new to do with a new piece of equipment or a new tool, and that is because Mars rules over tools and equipment. Now, the 2nd house is also associated with the production of something. So you could be producing food or metal or tools or equipment, or you yourself could be purchasing or procuring new resources. Now, some of you may be purchasing new valuables or new possessions, and on a more practical level, this could be to improve the aesthetics of your work environment, as indicated by Venus ruling over your 6th house. Lastly, you could be working on developing a new stream of income. Now, with Venus ruling over your 11th house in the sign of Libra, your goal could be for this to become a passive form of income, or this could be your very, very long-term plan, or this could even be connected to the legacy that you want to leave behind. Lastly, for the month, on the 24th/25th of February, depending where you live in the world, we will see Mercury in Aquarius in your 3rd house, making a square to Uranus in Taurus at 11 degrees in your 6th house. So essentially, this carries the energy of Mercury retrograde, and it will be very, very similar to the energy that you experienced with Mercury being retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, which started on the 14th of January and which ended around the 3rd or the 4th of February. I kind of wish that I had mentioned this in my previous 8 horoscopes. Nonetheless, if you feel like what you experienced in that 3-week period of time is very similar to what's going on around the 24th or the 25th of February, that's why. Now, on a more specific level, this could see you going on some sort of steep learning curve. There could be an argument or a disagreement that you have with a coworker or with your boss or even with a relative. And for some of you, you may actually receive some news which is a little bit unpleasant, unexpected, or even unsettling. I just want to let you guys know though that also around the 24th and the 25th of February, Mars in Capricorn will sextile Neptune in Pisces, Venus in Capricorn will also sextile Neptune, and Mercury in Capricorn will sextile Chiron in Aries. So there is overwhelmingly supportive energy which accompanies this Mercury square Uranus transit. Nonetheless, there will just be these lost in translation moments, or some of you may have your short-term travel plans change unexpectedly, and also you may be experiencing some issues with technology. So this could be with your technological devices, this could be with computer programs that you use or social media accounts that you have, or even a breakdown with one of your vehicles. And so Sagittarius, that's all I have for you for February 2022. If you'd like to purchase your 2022 yearly horoscope, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description box below. Enjoy your month ahead, Sagittarius, and I will see you guys next time.